DRS from now onwards. No DRS.
Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of the No DRS podcast. My name is Lotanna and I have Trojan here. Hi Trojan.
Hi Lotanna. Hi guys. Welcome to the professional yapping of the sport we all love. Hope you guys yap with us in the comments.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
What's first?
So yeah, I think welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix week. Amazing week. You know, the glitz and the glam, every single thing you
Did you say glaze?
the glitz, bruh, glitz.
You took glaze the Prince of Monaco.
Nah, come on. The actual Prince of Monaco, of course, is Charles Leclerc. We're really excited. I am excited about the race. It's a race I can't afford to attend, of course. But
you can. See, you can just go to the mountain, use your binoculars. I swear, premium views.
But yeah, I think, I started, loving the sports, the F1 sports, a couple of years ago, and it's been amazing. And I'm finally excited to be able to have a platform where I could talk about all my ideas, all my conspiracy theories, and just have fun and yap about the sports we all love. So this is quite amazing. Today we have a lot of things to do, so let's just get into it. Trojan, over to you.
I think let's start from last week, right? I think my favorite moment from last race was Verstappen's overtake. As much as I hated it, I have to give props to who deserves it, because I was recording my TV and I was just screaming, "Oh my god!" because I actually wanted Piastri to win, but again, I can't fault it. It was an insane overtake. Even when I watched the race highlights and people doing analysis, yeah, it deserved the win. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think Max deserves the win. I think the kind of thing you pull at turn one kind of shows who's really a generational driver, who is WDC material, who's not. Of course, it was against Piastri. Piastri was minding George all the way, and Max just waited to brake late because he knew that he had enough power in the car to get to where he wanted to go. So that was amazing. That was actually quite fantastic. I was a big fan of how that happened, and that was all he needed to hold on to a fantastic race win. So kudos to Max. Max is a beast.
To be fair, knowing Piastri, he won't let that ever happen to him again. Because Piastri is at least for past previous races we've seen, Piastri is the kind of person to put that type of moves on people. But the fact that it's being done on him for the first time in a while, or ever, I'm pretty sure oh wow, really? Okay, next time. Well, yeah, good luck to him next races.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's talk about fan predictions. Yeah. First, about this race, we're gonna do fan predictions first, and then we'll do our own predictions as host of the show. So the first set of predictions was, how many do not finish? How many DNFs are we gonna be getting this weekend? Now we know we're talking about Monaco Grand Prix, really tiny race tracks, almost no room for overtakes, almost no room for mistakes. You would kiss the wall at any slight mistake. And so the fans actually had a good time this day. So we have Ayo saying that there are going to be 2 DNFs, and that's quite interesting. We have Aisha saying 3, and we have Malik also saying 3 DNFs. And that is interesting because it means the streets are saying there's going to be up to 3 DNFs. Trojan, how many of these people, how many of these do you think, obviously we're going to get probably an Aston Martin just for the plot? What do you think?
Wow, come on. Cut them some slack. I think we're going to get four.
Four?
4 DNFs. Now,
that's literally what I thought too. I thought we're going to get 4.
I'm factoring like the amount of rookies we have. I'm just factoring like, come on, it's Monaco. Like last year, turn one we had like 3 DNFs, Checo and 2 Haas. So I think we're up for an interesting race. I know for sure Hajar will want to crash in Monaco.
Why? Why is that certain?
Come on, like you know the video that got that boy to F1, and he's not gonna crash in Monaco, right? Oli has been unlucky, so I'm not trying to place a curse on him, but he might just have that one moment. Colabinto, probably
definitely crashing.
So else? I'm thinking. I don't know. I like Antonelli. I like Antonelli, right? But you know when like he's good, and I'm not trying to say like he's hyped because he does not drive. He's a good driver, but like they made this whole move to Mercedes like cinema that if he ever
cinematic
fails,
experience.
Exactly, it is going to be dramatic. For example, look at last week in Imola. To no fault of his own, the car just went kaput, and the local hero can't finish his race, and obviously you come on.
I think let's cut Kimi some slack. First of all, I agree with you. There's a lot of fanfare around Kimi Antonelli. Of course, he's a young Italian chap. What do you expect, right? But I also think that it's quite interesting how much of the sports comes with the branding, the fan. For example, Lando Norris has a big brand. There's Louis Hamilton. There's a lot of these artists, I say artists, drivers, like Charles Leclerc, for example. There's a lot of people with a lot of big fan bases, right? What I'm not seeing is a lot of the rookies getting massive fan bases. That was not apparent so much in a couple of years back, but now it seems that it's happening. Kim is one of those people with a lot of fan base, and I think that's exciting to see. High or low, I don't care. I feel like the sports needs this. The sports needs all of that energy, all of that stories, all of that drama. I think that's what makes the sports amazing. So do I think Kim is going to crash? Like, is not going to finish? I think he makes a lot of mistakes, but I think this is a weekend that Mercedes is going to do a madness. So I think Kimi is actually not going to. I think Kimi is actually going to get some points, which leads me to the next prediction. Rookie to points.
Hajar.
What do you think? Rookie to points. Hajar is going to get points.
Hajar has been very consistent. Like I think if you remove the hype everyone has for Antonelli, let's assume he's not in the sport. I feel like we'll all be rooting for Hajar because he has been really consistent, barring maybe Australia where he crashed out. Come on, It's a which race, right?
Oh, that's normal. That's first race.
He is very consistent. He has been close to the points or in the points.
Yeah.
And if you compare him to Liam, even when Yuki was at RB, he was close to Yuki. I think the only reason why he was not above Yuki was because he's a rookie, he's trying to get to know the car and all. But now Yuki gone, it feels like him and the car, they're one. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Right. So
you're making a lot of sense. So you're saying
Hajar.
So I think my rookie to points is Kimi. I think Kimi is going to get some points this weekend.
That's unfair. Let me tell you why that's unfair. That's unfair. He's driving a Mercedes. It's just like saying, Red Bull to points, even though we know that the second Red Bull seat is cost, right? But come on. Yes, the car is undrivable as everyone has claimed, but it's still a fast car. like let's come on,
Let's
so
be
the car
honest. Okay.
right?
I think
So if Antonelli isn't in points, then we need to start questioning him, right? So I think if we are going to have this, we should just exclude him for now. Like
from
okay, yeah,
from
let's
the
talk about
conversation.
people in the Hasses, in the Saubers,
Okay. All right. I
in
think
Alpine.
yeah, for me, I think another rookie that I think is going to get 2 points is Olivier Man. I know you think he's not going to finish. I think he might finish and maybe finish around 10th or 9th. I think Monaco is the kind of race that one mistake happens at turn 1 or 2 that takes out like 3 to 4 strong people once. I think it's just one crash. The 4 DNFs are going to happen in one crash, and the race is going to totally tumble. Right? That's what I think. And I think that's how Olivier Man gets points. So Olivier Man is my next prediction since we're excluding Kimi because of the machinery that is Mercedes. Okay. All right then. Another set of fan predictions would be who is qualifying P1 tomorrow? Who's qualifying P1 on Saturday? So
Piastri.
the fans say, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you saying Piastri. The fans also say Piastri. We have 60% of the fans saying Piastri. We surprisingly have 10% of the fans saying Charles Leclerc. I know where that is coming from. A lot of the euphoria of 2024 Monaco Grand Prix. One of my favorite races of all time, if I might add. And then there is 30% of people saying Max Verstappen is going to qualify on pole. What do you think, Trojan? Before I tell you my own thoughts.
What do I think? All right. First of all, Piastri P1.
Okay.
If Leclerc, Leclerc won't fuck up qualifying. He's good. So I'll say P2.
Leclerc P2. Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll say P3, George.
P3 George. All right. That's a solid one.
Okay, there's a small twist to that.
Okay.
If this is the weekend that Mercedes cooks, my money is on George.
Okay.
But if it's regular Mercedes, I would say Max P3.
I see. Interesting. All right. Well, for me, I think that the McLarens are going to qualify P1, P2. I think it's going to be a Lando P1, Oscar P2, and a Lewis Hamilton P3. I think the Ferraris are beginning to improve in the car. I think is a little bit of improvement that's coming in the car. I don't think it's for Monaco. I think it's for the next race. But I think Lewis is beginning to get a good hang of the car. And I think really interesting things happen. And Lewis has not been that fortunate with qualifying. But I think the sun is about to shine on my boy this fucking week. This weekend. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And yeah, so this is basically all of it. Trojan?
One thing to add. Ferrari feels like it costs him sometimes. But okay, let me change my prediction a bit. Okay. It's hard because Leclerc is really good at Monaco. He is really good, so I will not put him out of P1. Out of like the podium, at least for qualifying. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, Leclerc.
Okay. Yes, he is good at qualifying.
Unless he crashes out, like maybe DNFs during qualifying and pulls up a stupid move at Monaco. But yeah, I think final P1, Piastri, P2. It's hard.
Piastri P1, okay.
Piastri P1, Leclerc P2, P3. I can't rule out Max, really. I can't really.
You can't rule out Max, exactly.
But yeah, what's your rant of the week?
Uh, hmm, Rant of the week. I love this segment a lot. For me, my rant of the week is around Jack Dohan. There is an F1 account, an F1 tweet account called Formula Fakers. Is a shits and gigs like memes, falsified, account of what is happening within F1, just for jokes. So a lot of
Okay.
memes that go around within this space are actually created from that account. They put out something from, I think, a family member of Jack during when, of course, Colapinto was taken over and he had a crash last week, and then they put out a post that looked like an Instagram story. You would see it right here, and basically it was saying that a family member of Jack was kind of laughing at Colapinto's crash based on the fact that Jack was just removed and replaced with Colapinto. And how it happened was so interesting because that particular meme trended, kind of went viral, and a lot of Colapinto fans allegedly basically um, started using that, posting that as if it were real, and then attacking the family of Jack, attacking Jack and his family, right? Jack got so much vitriol that he had to post that online, making disclaimer that that is false, that is not from him, before they did investigations to then find out it was from Formula Fakers, right? And I think some things are, there's the line to things. There is, there's always going to be banter. There's always going to be the edge to banter where people are doing things like, saying uncouth things. And then people keep asking, so where's the line? We have to draw a line somewhere, right? I think the fans sometimes go overboard because I think they have posted even worse things in the past, I would say, because I follow the account. However, yeah, that was really, really bad. And I think they, they released this statement, Formula Fakers, say that this is completely false. And this account is meant for falsities and memes and things like that, right? But some people took it to heart and actually then took it as an excuse to attack other people. I think attacking people is wrong. We have our favorite drivers. We are humans and we are all biased, and we feel bad when bad things, quote unquote, happen to our drivers. And so it makes sense for people to kind of have this whole versus some vim and energy. But we also need to remember that these drivers are humans, and we need to sometimes kind of reel it in and always remember that these people are human, right? It doesn't mean we shouldn't banter. It doesn't mean we shouldn't say our opinions, but sometimes we need to be considerate in the way we present things. But yeah, that's just my rant of the week. A lot of, bad handling from Formula Fakers, the fact that they didn't even release statements in time, the fact that Jack had to go through that, the fact that fans of Colapinto were, abusing him for something he or his family didn't do. All of that could have been avoided. But yeah, that's my rant. What is your rant?
My rant is, why does Lawson still have a seat
Wait, also
in F1? Lawson. Liam.
Liam Lawson.
Liam Lawson. Right. I'm pretty sure Checo at home, watching the races and he's having a fat laugh because we all had like high expectations for Liam, and
I didn't.
it's not. Yeah. Well, no, actually, it's not like I expected him to do bad. Or I expected him to do really good. When you see rookies, you're neutral, like, okay, let's see what they do. But last year, with all the shenanigans he pulled off, the twilight of the season, where he was giving Checo the middle finger or saying on TV that he's not here to make friends and all
Yes,
that.
I will never forget that line.
Bro, like,
I will never forget that line. I'm not here.
See,
I'm here to race. I'm not here to make friends. I will never forget that line.
Even Max, that is known to be the villain of
Doesn't
F1.
even have a dangerous line like that.
Do you understand? Like, he's friends with almost everyone on the paddock. He's friends with the rookies. He hangs out with Lando after terrorizing him on track. Like, he came up with this. I'm not here to make friends. Even Max was saying that. We understand. Come on. he walks the talk.
Yeah, because
You haven't walked the talk, and you're
you've
like,
not
I'm
shown
not
me
your friend.
nothing. Why you cocky?
Yeah, bruh. When he crashed out in Australia, I was so happy.
I was so happy. I swear.
But then,
I
like,
was so
and you know, when he was, crashing out, people were like, "Oh, it's the Red Bull car, etc., etc., etc." Fair, fair. UK came in, made a couple of mistakes, but he's bringing that car to the points.
Yes.
Last
Yuki,
week he went from P20 to P10. So, like, come on, Liam. Like, I feel like he's. I'll be surprised if he starts 2026 as a
mm,
one driver, at least for Red
oh,
Bull.
well, that's interesting. For me, I feel there's Isaac and there is Liam. I think Liam is I think for me, Liam would have gotten a lot more sympathy for me. Or empathy. I mean, I have empathy, but I don't sympathize with his current situation. If his start was not controversial, right? For me, I feel do the right thing. Of course, a lot of this is going to be, a lot of the blame is not on Liam per se, but is on the Red Bull management, how they're working Red Bulls and Racing Bulls, right? The fact that they skipped Yuki for Liam for
Yeah,
any
that was it.
at all was diabolical, right? And that just automatically made me not even root for Liam, even though he was a rookie. He is a rookie still, right? And then he goes on to make statements like that. He was so braggadocious. And for me, there's no problem in sports like this where there are only 20 seats in the world. You should be braggadocious, right? But you should also be able to back it up. You should be able to back it up in a great machinery. Yes, it was built around Max. Yes, we've heard all the reasons. Yes, Checo couldn't drive it. No one else could drive it. But Yuki is bringing it to points. And Yuki would have brought it to more points if he had the chance earlier, right?
To
This is
test
all
it.
on Red Bull. This is all on Red Bull. And I would not forget, to always share the blame with Red Bull because a lot of people focus on Liam when they express their anger. I am mad at Red Bull, right? I think they have been slow to reacting to a lot of things. And it's incredible because Max is just carrying that team on his bare back and it's crazy. Like, like again, it's all Red Bull's fault. But yeah, I think he deserves a chance. I think he's back to where he should be in the Racing Bulls. And let's see what the season says. I think
Is it?
he might pull a surprise over time. But yeah, the number one driver is definitely Isaac. Isaac Hajar is doing an incredible work at being very consistent. So yeah, let's see.
I thought you said he's back to on form, and I was looking at you like I don't think so.
Oh no, he's not back on form. He's not going to be. I'm not saying he's back on form. I'm saying we have time to see what he can do for us. Let's see. Let's see. I think his seat is not. I don't think his seat is on fire as much as you would say. I don't agree. I think they're going to give him the rest of the season to figure it out, or at least I don't know 5 more races. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I think will happen at the end of the season is Isaac
Mhm.
will move up to the senior team.
Who
Haja, he will be up in the Red Bull senior team.
really?
Yuki because of the Honda partnership. Who I don't know. The next best thing is Good Alonso, as well,
Hmm.
Alonso leaving Aston Martin, but that's still very unlikely. We don't know because Honda is going to Aston Martin, so you kind of expect maybe Yuki might first become a reserve driver,
I see.
then maybe eventually replace Alonso maybe in 2 years or a year. But
Hmm.
we don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know. But I don't think Yuki will be at Red Bull at the end of the
Hmm.
season.
I see. Interesting. And I'm for those of you who don't know what Egbo means elder, like big uncle, a respected elderly person, right? Is is Nigeria language for like some respected elder, right? And yeah, to the next section, and that section I'm quite excited about is the actually happened session. So now I'm gonna go first and then I'll push it to you, Trojan. But what are the cool things or not cool things that actually did happen this week?
Hmm. I have one.
Yeah,
It
you
was
have one. Oh, so
it was
I'm gonna.
Charles.
Yeah,
It was
please.
Charles driving his Ferrari from Imola back to Monaco with his girlfriend, and they stopped by at McDonald's. Have a chill time. I was just like, wow, I'm jealous. I'm
I see.
jealous.
It's funny. I saw a tweet about that, and the tweet says, "This is why you're not a champion material," because Max and Oscar would not be eating this week. They would be fasting. They would be in the gym, hitting the gym, not consuming calories.
Totally random. Now that you brought this up, totally random. I actually wonder, what does Max, what
Do
does
for
Oscar,
fun.
what did they do when they're off the track? Like, we don't know.
We know
We just know
Max
they
does
come.
a lot of sim racing.
Yeah. Excluding sim racing, right? Maybe that's what he does, because I heard last time he was carrying the sim race rig on his plane or something. But okay, let's move Max.
He's
What
also
does
a father now, so I imagine he is nursing his newborn baby, Lily.
yes,
Congrats
yes,
to Max. By the way, and his family, newborn baby, awesome. I remember years ago when Alonso said, who was he talking about that he will break because he has family?
Schumacher.
He was saying
Yes.
Mick Schumacher is going to break. Of course, he has family at home, so I can't wait for that
Michael,
line
not
to be
me.
used again at some point because Max would never break. But I'm looking forward to the first person to use that line. I can't wait for someone to use that line in today's racing world. For me, my actually happened moment was the Formula One movie private screening. Now, if you don't know, Formula One in partnership with Apple is releasing a big film called Formula One, of course. Is going to try to bring in a lot of fans into the sport. It's going to be great watch starring Brad Pitt, but also starring what's the British guy? Damson
I'm saying
Idris.
Idris.
Yes, Damson Idris. So really, really, really awesome lineup. Like Damson, I've been looking forward to seeing him in a big role. I think this is going to be one of his movie big roles. And it seemed to be really, really good. I remember being in Qatar and seeing them do some races there. The car looks good. Of course, the core F1 fans are going to be like, oh my God, they're going to be nitpicky with details, right? But people need to understand that the movie is targeted to a wider audience of moviegoers who they want to bring into the sport. So I really see people nitpicking the trailer, for example, talking about, oh, why are they using MacBooks, in the in the technical rooms and stuff like that. Of course, they're going to use MacBooks, man. It's an Apple movie. What do you expect?
HP.
It's not a paddock. What do you expect, guys? Like, come on. Let's come on, guys. Come on. And then yeah, so my actually happened. But before I go further, I just want to, just remind everyone it's going to be out in the cinemas from June the 27th. So make sure to get your tickets, make sure to see it. We're going to be sharing our thoughts on the movies when we do go see it here on the podcast also. And while you're here, make sure to drop in your fan predictions for this week in the comment section. We'd like to hear and hopefully read out your predictions in the next episode. But what actually happened this week was that Max missed the private screening. So everyone is in Monaco, every driver is in Monaco right now. And Apple and F1, of course, invited all the drivers with their partners if they could. And of course, team principals to come for a private screening of the movie. And Max was absent. Of course, Max usually doesn't quite like the limelight, doesn't like all the other things that are not racing. He's not really quite interested, right? But now that he has a newborn, I feel like he has a golden card, like he get away from anything
I'm a kid.
at any time. And it's so amazing because there were pictures of him sim racing at that same time. At that same time, the movie was screening. But he could always, I'm nursing a new baby. Come on. And what do you think, Trojan?
Well, I respect Max a lot for not liking all the things that come with F1, excluding like except for actually racing. I think it reminds me of our goats, Lionel Messi.
Good.
Yeah, you know that he just wants to play football. He's really not interested in all these, razzmatazz going on
Fanfare.
in sport, excluding kicking the ball. So I think Max is that kind of person. I think Piastri is. If Piastri wasn't in a team like McLaren, I think
You
Piastri
wouldn't
would
see him
be.
outside.
You will
Yes.
see
Oh
him
my God.
outside.
He always looks like, oh my God, why am I here? In fact, the
Yeah.
fact that I even saw his girlfriend in the screening was crazy because he comes off as a very, very private person, kind of maxing in that way, like, oh man, I just want to go home and rest. His mom literally has more of a social presence than him. That's how
Yep.
that's how reserved he is. It's crazy. I know more
Yeah.
about his mom than his private life.
If Piastri was in, let's say, Red Bull, you
Mhm.
won't see that boy outside.
Yeah, you
You
won't see him outside
guarantee.
this rainbow.
But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I tried to get tickets for my city, but I couldn't. So I'm gonna have to go to maybe London or
You come
something.
to London, yeah. Let's go see it together, of course. Let's see it
I,
together.
I just hate going to London. I really hate it.
that that is a story that we will share with our audience at another time. But yeah, over to you for the next segment, Trojan.
Tech analysis upgrades. Which team do you think will be the the team we do not expect to perform?
With upgrades, I would say, Now, if you look at my background, you would see a team car, right? It's called the Williams Atlassian Racing. And this team has been, in fact, they are the team I'm going to talk about now, and the team I'm going to talk about in the next segment. So it's quite incredible. But I think they have silently cooked the best mid-level car of the last 4 years. I don't think there's a mid-level team that has had a. It's not even a great car. It's just a good car. It's not even all that. The car is not all that. Just a good car to be top of the mid-tier drivers, right? And I think the Williams have done that. I think James Vowles is doing an amazing job of, he comes from math side, data analytics side. I think they are using a lot of, when you have less resources, but more passion and drive to win, when you bet a good chunk of your annual budget on signing one person as a core team, you know all you have is sheer will and sheer drive. Nothing in the fridge. Like, those days where there's nothing in the fridge, that's what Williams have. And they are performing amazing with nothing in the fridge. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they have been very impressive this season. I wouldn't even call them a mid team anymore. I think I'll just put them at. I won't say they're mid because if you take mid, you take out Alpine, some other team. So like, I would not want to disrespect Williams and put them in that category. So I think they're a top team now.
Yeah.
They just
I
need
actually
like
agree.
a sway of luck to get them their first podium, right? And they're really close. They're getting close to it. Maybe Monaco could give that to them. You never know. To start strategy now. We don't know what could happen on Sunday. Or you don't even know. Maybe they cooked something crazy for qualifying, and you see signs at P2. we don't know.
I mean, Science has qualified into P1 before, I think last week. So again, amazing stuff happening in the team. Amazing stuff happening in the team. I think they deserve it. But yeah, this is about car analysis. So I will not talk so much about strategy. But yeah, what is your own car analysis? What team do you think is doing something good for you?
I'll say Aston Martin.
Okay. Because of last weekend?
No, not just because of last weekend. Like you can see the progression, like from Australia, how like there is shit in Australia and how they built up to last week. And everyone is saying, "Oh, Adrian will be at the track, blah 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 blah." Maybe he has cooked up something that we might see on race day. So like I won't completely rule them out. And as much as I hate to say this, Stroll has been performing really well.
I agree. I agree.
I can't even hate on him anymore. He just needs to fix his personality. But I think if he's this consistent, I won't have a problem with him. I think most people won't have a problem with him. Just be good. Like, bro, be good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
I
have
think
some ambition.
yeah, exactly. You can tell like bro, I'm rich as fuck. I don't give a bleep that
Yeah,
out.
you can
Bleep that
tell. You
out.
can tell. You can tell he's here for fun, right? But I do agree with you on Stroll. I don't know if I agree with you about the car. I think they cooked something last weekend, but I can't quite give them a kudos for car yet, right? I think we need, for me, for you to have kudos for the car, it has to be a consistent thing, and you have to make something out of it. So right now, uh, yeah, I think the jury's still out for me on that. However, I want to give kudos to Stroll. I think Stroll is showing something that no one is talking about in the whole of the grid, and that is what is Fernando Alonso doing on the grid?
Wow.
What is he doing on the grid? Why is no tabloids talking about it? Why is no one questioning? He just wakes up, sometimes he spins twice in a race. Like, what are we doing with Alonso on the grid? Why is that? Why is he still on the grid? Let's talk about that.
I feel like as an athlete or as a professional in any profession, you should know when it's time to go, right?
When it's
You
time
could
to
be
quit, Modric. Why are you in Modric?
right. For example, right? Let's say software engineers, for example. As much as we hate to admit, you have a lifespan as a code monkey, right? And it's going to be weird seeing a 40-year-old like pushing keys, doing all nighter with you, right? So I think Alonso is in that category where we're like, bro, I think it's time to, you come. You have two WDCs. You're good. We know you're good. Don't tarnish the image we have of you. Even Lewis will get to that point where like the guy, I hope he's able to know when to stop.
Yeah,
He's right now, he
it's a
still has
skill.
it in him. Yeah. But like a time will come where like, bro, you need to it's best to live on a high.
Yeah.
Max is the kind of person I feel like he will leave the sport on a high. He's not gonna let himself, oh wow, what's happened to Max is finishing P10. He
Yeah,
won't get to the point.
yeah.
Right. So I
Uh,
think Alonso needs to tell himself the truth and just like, hey, I've done well, but I'm not at that level anymore.
yeah, and of course he went for the money with Aston. We understand that, but the deal cannot be, I don't know, 5 years. It has to be some 2 year deal. I don't know how long the deal is, but I just feel like, bruh, it's like, nah, come on. You really, really, really have to retire, right? Know when to stop. We have a big Lewis Hamilton theory of retirement, but we'll not talk about it in this episode. Um, but yeah, just know when to hang your boots, man. Like, I feel like, again, just a sport with only 20 seats for each season is like, it's so competitive to have some surpass. What we are seeing now is so, like, Stroll is doing a consistently better job than him, and he's an Egbo, and it would be so nice if he could just retire. Like, there are more people that need seats, man. There are more people that need seats. And yeah, next category or session we want to talk about is strategy awards. So I'm gonna go first so that you don't take team I want to call. But if you look again to my background, you would see that I am Team Williams. Williams have done incredibly well with strategy. They have only Alex Albon has more points than they have gathered in the last, I think, 3-4 years now, without even adding science points, right? This year has been the most impressive year that Williams has had, in my opinion, since Williams became a team under the Mercedes family. This is the most impressive year that Williams have had. Like, for me, I feel like the potential this year has not even begun to show. Like, Albon, again, the 2019 sets drivers, um, they give a lot of things. Some of them are good, some of them are okay, but most of them are in the good enough driver level. Most of them from 2019 are really, if we're being honest, I know this is going to hurt a lot of people, but if we're being honest, a lot of the drivers in the 2019 sets are within the we're good drivers, right? But Alex Albon this year has single-handedly proved that you don't need to be cocky. You could be chill and calm and really relaxed and still give a great performance back to back to back to back. He is actually my most consistent driver of 2025. He used to be Judge Russell until the last race. And so currently, Alex Albon is my most consistent driver of the season. I think the Williams have been doing great with their stops. For a mid-tier team, they've been doing amazing with their stops. They've been doing well with the undercuts. They've been doing well with when to pit. Their pit strategy has been good. I think, and then all the defense, having signs there. And there's a lot. Another thing that I hear a lot, people are beginning to say science is contributing. Science is the reason there's a turnaround. I disagree vehemently with that. I think there's a turnaround because Alex has decided to wake up, and there is a car for him to. The car is good enough for him to actually decide to do so. And there's James Bowles. So it's a collection of things that have come together in this, I would say, serendipity, I would say, that is making all of these good things. It's not science alone. Now, science is good. Science is providing great insights. He's even helping with strategy. But this is not the doing of just science. And I feel like people, because science has a lot of fans, people are beginning to say, oh my God, science is a good luck charm that's come to the team. Well, that is partly
good
true.
luck doesn't win you races.
But good luck doesn't win races, exactly. If you take away science from his grid, from this team, Alex would have still performed close to what he is performing at right now, right? Science is a great addition to what Alex is doing. And Alex is doing a madness. But Williams, the team, with their strategy, on some races, you see, so James Bowles does these videos where he analyzes the race after the race, just right after the race. And you could tell they're not even happy with the performance. They think the car could do more. They think the drivers could do more. And I think that's the feeling drivers should have. You should leave a race if you're not P1, if you're not on the podium, you should leave a race like, God, I need to do better. Like, I need to lock in. That is why we are here. That is why we're watching. That is why we're also subscribed to Sky, to Formula One TV. That is why, right? And so Williams are doing just that. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I will not join your Williams glazing, but I think my strategy award goes to Red Bull. I think they executed the last race really well. Getting Tsunoda from P20 to P10. Good, yes, driving was great, but also strategy came into play.
Yes.
Keeping Max out to
that
still
long.
maintain. Yeah, that long. You can see that, like,
I waited till they got the safety car.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like it felt like they knew. They felt like
they knew it was going to come.
Right. So Red Bull takes that award from me.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then what I want to now do is, um, I would ask you, what do you think a great strategy would be, knowing what has happened in the last race and last two races, in people's spaces, and the vein that is going on. Last race I think was one of the most fantastic races of this season. Do you agree?
Mm.
It was amazing. Let's talk about it. What do you think of last race? I thought Imola was a fantastic race, actually. It had a combination of grit, it had a combination of faith, it had a combination of it had all the emotions you want to feel in a race. It had a great proportion of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I want to hit on the race, but I can't. I was trying to look for the past, so pick one of the past few races we've had and pick that over that. But yeah, you're right. I think it was very unpredictable. A lot of things happened in that race, and the safety cars that kept coming on, I was like, come on. So yeah, I think, yeah, it was a great race. I think it was. But what's in my mind now, looking at Monaco, what would the strategy be like for teams with the new to stop mandatory to stop?
Yeah,
What are people to do? Are people going to run softs, then pit early?
I think, I think, I think the best strategy would depend on what the weather says. However, I think the two stops start with soft pit early would be the best strategy, honestly. Maybe end it in mid, end the tires that are going to be last. I think a good driver that could defend, because again, you need to factor in the overtakes are almost not going to happen. In fact, the race is almost going to be decided in the qualifiers,
But not
right?
anymore.
Well,
Strategy.
anyways, I feel like um, I feel like Ferrari actually has what it takes to be right in the middle, not qualify top three or top four, get the advantage of that first corner one, that first turn one crash, right? There's going to be a crash in turn one. I think there's a lot of energy bubbling, especially from the last race, and a lot of the drivers have stayed together so long. The F1 movie, everybody's kind of together. There's this thing that happens
Tension.
when
Unset
there's a lot
tension.
of love going on during the week that gets into boiling into tension during the weekend, right? So there's so much love going on during the week. I'm like, these people should be fighting. And a lot of British journalists think that drivers are so butty, everyone is friends, during mixed stand, everybody was fighting. And I really agree with the fighting spirits, right? I think people should be fighting and cursing each other out. I remember all these videos you saw about with Alonso jumping and cursing people. People should so I think a lot of it is going to bubble into this weekend. And so I think there's definitely going to be a crash in turn one or turn two. But my money is on turn one, and I think it's going to take out drivers. I think at least two DNFs would happen in turn one, right? And I think that would give a team a chance to cook an amazing race. Now, for me, I think that team is going to be either Ferrari or Williams. I think one Ferrari or Williams is going to be on podium. That's what I think will happen this weekend.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
I feel like if there is a crash at turn one and it brings out the safety car, everyone is going to pit. And that will re-establish the order, the normal Monaco order, and that's how the race will end. So I'm pretty sure everyone is praying for a DNF.
the thing is, I think the great strategy would be that a crash happens, people go, pit and everything. We start behind the safety car again, maybe like 2, 3. But then another crash happens. I think there would be at least 3 collisions happening this weekend, right? 3 collisions. And I think those 3 collisions, I think one of the collisions is going to take a while before the FIA would issue a flag for one of them. And I think this is a race that Ferrari and Williams is going to cook something based off chance, circumstances, and time, right? I hope it's the Ferraris, but I don't mind it if it's the Williams. But I think the team is going to take advantage of the uncertainties and of course, DNFs that's going to happen. I actually think there's going to be 4 DNFs, as I said earlier. But yeah, that is what I think.
Fair point. Fair point.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing episode. I've enjoyed myself. Trojan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I've gotten every bit of rant off my body.
Okay.
I think the only thing I do not want to happen for Leclerc's mental health is for him to crash out, as my friend said, in this week's race. I think one thing we didn't talk about is we mentioned crashes, DNFs in the races. Who's going to crash out for practice or during qualifying? We've not even factored that in.
Yeah, we've not factored cars that are going to wreck and they will not even get to do qualifying.
Exactly. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I think this is where teams with money come to play because, like, for example, see what Red Bull did last weekend. How did they rebuild that car that was fully totaled? Like resources. I already saw pictures that Ferrari has a lot of wings ready for Monaco. So I know they're going to push a lot, but again, we think that a lot of things are going to happen. I'm quite excited. I think this is kind of race, or this is the track where you almost never know what's going to happen. We've all done our predictions, but we'll see. Very, very exciting weekend. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for sitting and being a part of this. And we will see you in the next race week. Goodbye.